It's winter, 1355. We've been optimising the workshop to have high priority raw materials kept next to the workstations. Raw limestone and iron ingots lay ready to be made into bricks and metal products. We are slowly gaining mechanical components, a key product needed for traps and special weapons like crossbows. At Trench Tower, we are adding armour racks to allow quick equipment changes in the heat of battle. There is also a secondary reason for the racks, which we will see more later. Additional mechanical components allow the opportunity to add a dense trap placement in the range of Tunnel Tower. Below ground, the food storage is brimming with fresh produce. We will try to fill it with ice as much as we can this winter. We learn rug making. Rugs can then be manufactured at a sewing station. The material, such as the animal hide used, will alter the look of the rug. Outside we see Jispa running around in the snow chasing rabbits. No doubt very pleased with herself in catching that one. We do a quick check to see our dirt supplies for the terraforming as we draw closer to finishing the removal of limestone. We have 1900 dirt, a limited supply in the mountains, but that should be plenty for our current projects. We move the dirt closer to the site in preparation for the next stage. Geoffrey and Sigmund have a debate on fighting skills and have decided to duel. The community has supported this, including the risk involved, as a conventional way to improve their melee skills. Each put on some spare mail and a helmet, and they both grab a falchion sword. For now, the workshop roof will be their arena. It's a fairly even battle, but ultimately Sigmund's fragility undoes him. Geoffrey is the winner, but both men will need time in the infirmary. However, Geoffrey is too tough to go straight to the infirmary. He has some thankful prayers to do to his god, followed by a game of backgammon. He's as stubborn and tough as they come, a great asset to Edenburgh. Sigmund also makes a full recovery. The weather is starting to warm, and so we activate the braziers in the seed hut and get an early start on sowing. Ice production has been good this year, and we make our last push to get what ice we can for the year. Before Sigmund has had time to recover, we receive a surprise visit from our old friends. The Church of the Third Coming are back with greater numbers. we sent the Church of the Third Coming army homeward to think again. At long last we have finished the quarry and can begin to pour fertile soil into the carved out mountain. A true oak temple and the spirituality of its followers can only grow in fertile land with natural beauty. Edinburgh Oak Temple will be a cultural landmark throughout the land. The temple begins with a stairway down into the surrounding earth. It will then rise up out of the ground from the root layer and above the adjacent walls. It will require several adjustments to finish and to have upper floors that will allow light down into the root layer. The south walls will have 2 towers, and the walls and towers will be known as Edinburgh Garden Walls and the Edinburgh Garden Towers. These towers will both protect and complement the Oak Temple with synergy of mighty stone and organic fertility. A rematch was called between Sigmund and Geoffrey. Commendable sportsmanship from Geoffrey, the reigning champion, for carrying Sigmund to the infirmary while wounded himself. We decide to learn wood carving, which means we will need to construct woodwork benches. Wood carved statues will be ideal for the Oak Brethern Temple. We create our first rug, a red wool one, and we place it in a man's room. The next day we learn preserving food too. Not only will this make our food last longer, but will also be a valuable and lightweight trading resource which we can use to trade for clay bricks, or for simply gaining favour from our neighbours. I use the tunnel as a cool storage place for them for now. I then begin to rebuild the Oak Temple design, to add another floor and to make it grander. Following that, it looks like it's time to allow plants to sow again, as we slowly approach spring. It's the end of the season, and we festively gift the Kingdom of York some kegs of aged fine wine for visiting us. We begin to plant oak trees around the temple, as well as build a cobble path from the castle. We set the soil on the walls to sow flax and herbs. The south wall will hold red currants and apple trees. It is then time to knock down the old temple. The land here will be reused in the future. The craftsmanship and skill of our people mean that it's high time that we adjust the quality settings of armour and clothing. We will now accept fine quality clothing at a minimum for now, but armour must be superior, making it more effective and protective. We trade a variety of goods for some clay bricks and ice from Bloxwich, while also generously gifting much to our friendly neighbour. The skill of our people is shown when we produce a flawless deer hide rug. Branwen is the lucky inheritor of it, while we offer more wool rugs to others. Nobody was fazed when we learned that Jispa, the cattle, died. The livestock were part of our diet from the milk they provide and the meat when they naturally passed. We did not think much of it. The next day, a sad finding was made near the perimeter walls. Jispa, the faithful and playful, had passed away alone in the woods. As our first and original animal companion, Jispa was a reminder of how much time had passed. Farewell, dear Jispa. Jispa's passing also alerted us that our traps were not being reset. We do some jiggling to have Branwen and Martin prioritise these duties. The charming Martin is quick to action and has many traps ready soon after. A passing reminder from our protector Jispa, it seems. Unfortunately, Sweeting turned 28 and developed a trait for churlish behaviour. Shortly after, Filisia joined us. Filisia was known as a shrewd master builder, but lacked passion in building, and just about everything bar smithing and medicine. For traits, Filisia was precious, disfigured, punch-drunk, and an early bird. An interesting character to join us at Edenburgh. Her archery skills were not bad, and we'll be glad to have her join us on the walls. Geoffrey's passion for combat is overwhelming Sigmund, but credit should be given to Sigmund for never giving up. His visit to the infirmary reminds us to stock the upper medicine cabinet with some medical supplies. The oak garden walls are nearing completion. Geoffrey and Sigmund have inspired the people of Edinburgh to decide to make tournament fighting an official pastime. An official tournament ring is constructed, and others are encouraged to consider joining the bouts. Thor celebrates the worthy battle with thunder and lightning. Thor's celebration for Edinburgh's oak and steel is written into the legends. Work had already begun on renovating the farm, terraforming out the limestone and rebuilding it into a more functional design. Our iron smelting production has been flowing, additional mining is queued up in the mining tunnels. Wee girlfriend Jeffrey have a quick game of backgammon before Jeff is back out in the arena to defend his win streak against the persistent Sigmund. This time, it's less competitive. We may need to find another challenger for Jeffrey. Perhaps Hrothgar can be a challenge to Jeffrey. Hrothgar has no interest in fighting, but he certainly has some notable ability. He recently turned 52 and became stout. His age and weight might slow him down a bit, but Edenburgh asked him to try and help Jeff develop his skills. Each attack Jeff throws, Gar seems to anticipate, deflect and counter. Despite his stout stature, Hrothgar moves like a gazelle. Jeffrey, sensing a loss, concentrates on his next attack, a deadly head stab. However, Hrothgar trades with his own incredibly quick blow and Jeffrey has had enough. Hrothgar is the new reigning champion of Edenburgh. Looks like Sigmund has an old friend next to him in the infirmary. It's now time to unlock steel and armouring, as we must give our champions equipment worthy of their ability. We can now produce steel at our smelting furnaces by combining iron and coal. This prompts us to mine some coal. Mail armour made from steel is queued up and prioritised. The time for tournament bouts was over. 30 Forest Bandits were approaching our walls for a surprise attack.